More and more automakers seem to be making these cars that trade off conventional styling and practicality in exchange for a swoopier roofline, less practicality, and a higher price tag. They do these for SUVs now. You have things like the Cayenne Coupe, and then they also do it for sedans and two-door coupes, and they call them these four-door coupes, which is absolutely an oxymoron. A while ago, it was just the Mercedes CLS, the BMW 6 Series, and the Audi A7, and now it's expanded. BMW has now killed off the 6 Series and has replaced it with this, the 8 Series. And behind me is the BMW M850i Gran Coupe with xDrive. The powertrain is a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8. It makes 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. While weighing well over 4,600 pounds, this thing will do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Has ZF 8-speed transmission, and as I mentioned, xDrive, so all-wheel drive. It's actually a pretty nice powertrain in this vehicle. It's smooth, it produces a ton of torque down low. It's also essentially related to the engine that's found in the M5 competition, the M8, which makes over 600 horsepower in those applications. Even though every vehicle in the segment is an oxymoron, they all look really good. I think the 8 Series Gran Coupe definitely looks better than the 8 Series Coupe and convertible. This thing as a mid-tier level, it's got the M badge on it, but it's not the full M8, so it doesn't have the full aggressive front fascia. Still has some nice touches to it. We have the carbon fiber exterior pack, which costs over $4,000, but gives you a couple pieces of carbon fiber trim, carbon mirrors, a little bit of carbon on the rear diffuser. Also has BMW laser headlights here. The grills you see are not gigantic chipmunk teeth yet. So overall, I think it looks really good. It's a large vehicle. This is quite long, quite a big sedan. But the trade-off is the roofline looks really nice and aggressive, nice and sporty. One downside though is if you come around to the back, it has a conventional size trunk, not a giant hatchback like you'd find on something like an RS7. So when it opens up, it's actually kind of a small opening here. You can't fit quite as much in there, so it's not quite as practical, but it does have the comfort access. So you just kick your foot underneath the rear bumper and it closes itself. As you see, M850i xDrive. I think the rear end of the car actually looks quite aggressive. It's got these giant exhaust openings. I wouldn't call them exhaust tips because they don't actually reach through there, but it looks really good. I think the Gran Coupe, in summary, is the best looking out of the 8 Series lineup, and despite not being the full M8, it's a good looking overall sports luxury sedan. The interior of the 8 Series has taken a massive step forward compared to the previous generation 6 Series. One of my favorite things on the inside, one of the highlights, is going to be the glass controls option, which makes this crystal-looking transmission shifter with the 8 on the inside that lights up at night. Same with the start-stop button. It's a very, very premium touch to it. We have a newer iDrive system, which can be controlled both through the rotary dial, touchscreen, and also gesture controls, which are a little bit gimmicky and work maybe only 65% of the time. The tech in the inside is seriously impressive. This has the full Driver Assist Pro feature suite, which is quite expensive at $2,800, but it allows you to pretty much relax, and all the cameras and the sensors take care of everything. It'll self-park itself. It'll pull itself out of parking spots. Other nice touches, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Sounds really good, looks awesome. All these metal grills with the little laser dots in them, and then also they light up on the inside, and then the interior ambient lighting, multi-colors, and at night it looks absolutely amazing. Nice red and black leather. The seats are very comfortable. Space is good inside. We've got dual sunroofs. Rear seat space is actually pretty good too. So the wheelbase of the Gran Coupe is about almost 8 inches longer than the regular coupe. So I can actually sit behind myself at 6'3" in the back seat. What's a little less useful is the middle seat. There's a seat belt there and a buckle, but there's also this console that goes across the middle, so there is no legroom if you want to put a third person back there. Overall, this generation of the 8 Series interior in terms of quality, touch, technology, luxury features has really made me fall back in love with BMW interiors. I think it's a huge step forward, extremely nice, very premium feeling, and I definitely think it fits the price tag of the car. The BMW 8 Series is a large vehicle, and when you're driving it, you feel the weight, you feel the size, you feel the long wheelbase. It's not a nimble car. It doesn't shrink around you. It's not tuned to be a full performance M vehicle. This is the M850i. And what I've enjoyed the most while driving this vehicle is cruising along in comfort, long commutes, that type of thing. You've got the sound system going, you've got your heated seats going, you've got your driver assist functions all operating. This will handle well if you throw it through some corners. You throw it into the Sport Plus mode, the adaptive dampers will stiffen up a bit, help out. And it's not slow, don't get me wrong. This is a very, very fast vehicle. That 523 horsepower and an abundance of 553 pound-feet of torque from down low all the way through to rev range gets you hustling real quick. With launch control, 0 to 60 can happen in as fast as 3.5 seconds. And launch this thing a couple times and it'll throw you back. You take off. It feels similarly as fast as something like my Audi RS7 at 560 horsepower, but it lacks some of the sharpness or the aggressiveness or the urgency. Again, this is more the comfortable luxury side of the sports luxury sedan. That's not saying it's not exciting. If you put it into Sport Plus mode, everything perks up. You get a little more engine noise, you get some cracks and pops from the exhaust. I know some of it's probably piped in through the speakers, but the overall experience is a lot more exciting, and it would hold gears all the way up to like 5,000 RPM if you want. Makes a good noise. The paddle shifter response is pretty good for that ZF8 speed. But again, while you can hustle it through some back roads, it's not a vehicle that I would consider taking on a track or have it as my primary fun-to-drive vehicle. I think the M850i is an excellent daily driver. Probably, if you're driving, the best sedan daily driver that they make right now. Now, some of the competition for this car actually will come from BMW themselves. As equipped, this M850i costs more than a BMW M5 competition. At 122,700, whatever, 123 grand for this vehicle. You pay a lot to get the sportier styling. You get the four-door coupe-looking vehicle. It simply just costs more than an M5. And also, if you look at the competitors, it's gone kind of weird now. It used to be pretty straightforward and simple. You have Audi, A7, S7, RS7. BMW would have the 640i, the 650, and then the M6 Gran Coupe. And then Mercedes had the CLS all the way up to the 63. Now, the CLS doesn't have a V8 in it. You have to go to AMG GT63, the four-door, which is a lot more expensive than this. Also makes more power, but I think those are like 150, 160. The CLS 53 is a lot cheaper, but it's also down 100 horsepower. So Mercedes doesn't really have a direct competitor to this car. For some reason, people like to compare this to the S-Class, but I don't see it. From a price standpoint, it makes sense, but from the essence of what the vehicle is supposed to be, this is not a executive luxury sedan. This is a little more driver-forward luxury vehicle. If we go to Audi, this car costs more than what the brand new RS7 is going to be starting price at. So the RS7 is definitely faster, more aggressive. It's the RS7, the top tier model. The S7 no longer has a V8. It's a V6 now, and I believe it's a little bit lower price than this. So you can see where the competition has kind of gone all over the place. There's no longer a clear cut like I'm shopping for a CLS 550, an Audi S7, or the BMW 650i. It's gone all weird. What this makes me excited to try out is the M8 Gran Coupe, especially because it's this powertrain with more power, sharper, a little more aggressive. That will probably be a little more exciting to drive. But this thing, if I'm picking something to daily drive, the 850 gets my vote, which leads me to my final conclusion of, I really like this car, it's impressed me a lot, but I wish it did not have an M badge. That one letter, that M, changes and raises the expectations you have of the vehicle. You expect it to do more things, but this is not a full M car. It's M Performance. It's 80% of what an M is supposed to be, and it compromises certain ways trying to achieve that, whereas if it just went full luxury, comfort, just an 850 with a big old V8 making a great amount of torque, I think it would be an even better vehicle. So in summary, this M850i is one of the cooler four-doors you can buy from BMW. It has a great engine making a massive amount of torque. It is legitimately fast. It's comfortable, filled with tech. Great interior upgrades now. I mean, this glass shifter is so cool to look at. The ambient lighting at night is amazing. The driver assistant tech has really caught up with the competition. I think it's on par with Distronic from the Mercedes systems now. It's really good, relaxing, great daily driver. Looks good, attracts attention. People will see it and they're like, that's a good looking BMW. It is a little bit on the pricey side with what you're getting, especially compared to some of the competitors out there. It's kind of weird to evaluate that now. Makes me really excited to try out the full M8 competition. Hustling through some roundabouts. So again, as you see, it's quick. It'll get going. Woo. All-wheel drive, definitely we'll put down the power, and you just ride that mountain of torque. Really enjoyed spending some days with this BMW M850i Gran Coupe. Make sure you check out the other videos that are living with video. Filmed a little point of view footage too with it. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.